friends, it's Mary with the Painted Peach. Today I am in a collaboration I'm very honored to be in. This collaboration is what wood you make, and everyone in it has to use wood. So today's hosts are Rustic Lace DIY, Blue LaLa, and DIY Craftaholic. So if you would look in my description, all the information, the playlist, and all is there. And make sure you give these ladies' channels a subscribe because they are amazing. All right, let's get started and use some wood. All right, so in today's collaboration for the What Would You Make, I'm going to be using a Chalk Couture transfer, also known as a stencil. It is a reusable mesh screen stencil, and we are going to use the top portion of this one. Its laundry is a never-ending cycle. So that is one thing we'll be using. I'm also going to use for the first time this paint inlay from IOD. That is Iron Orchid Designs. It is a 12 by 16 rose chintz paint inlay, and it comes with many sheets of it. It's used in a lot of furniture decorating, repurposing, and things like that, but we're going to use it on this wood sign. We're going to repurpose that I got from Hobby Lobby for $3.99. Now, this is my wood piece that I'm using today. What kind of wood it is probably just pressed wood, but that is as close as I have to a wood surface at this time, and I hope that this is okay. We have wood beads, but we're going to use this as our wood staple piece for this collaboration today. So we are going to redo this whole board. I've got to get this sticker off, of course. We'll add a little bit of heat to that and peel it on off. Uh-oh, I've lost something here. There we go. Usually these come off pretty easy with a little bit of heat. We got that off, and now I'm going to use some chalk paint, and this is Chalk Finish by DecoArt, and it is the color Vintage, and it is an ultra matte chalk paint. Alright, so we're just going to do a nice coat of this chalk paint and cover up. We're going to get the first coat going on these words for sure, because they're going to need an extra coat of the chalk paint. I'm not too worried about the line around the surface, but I definitely don't want these words showing through. If the line shows, I'm not going to be too mad about that. But I want to make sure I get a good coat over the words and make sure I get double coating on that. If the paint covers the rest of the wood, then I'll be happy with how it is. You could also sand those before you paint. I'm not worried about it because I am going to be laying that inlay on top once I get that last coat on. And you're going to put your inlay in the paint when it's wet, so you want to make sure you don't get it dry. I read a little bit on my thing and realized I needed a mineral-based paint, so I'm moving over to this JunkMonkey Olive You More for my next coats. I know I'm going to have to stir this. This is a green also, but it's a little bit of a more olivey green, as in the name Olive You Green. And I'm going to use that. I wasn't really digging this color anyway. I felt like I needed something a little bit greener. I wanted a green background. So what I'm going to do is add this on to the top of this. It's a very nice green. Here we go. That's more of the look I was going for anyway. So we're going to do a coat of this. Okay, so we have full coverage on our wood piece, and before I put my last coat on there, I want to be sure I cut my paint inlays so that they will match up. So I'm just going to cut right here along the bottom where there's an extra piece there, and get that piece that doesn't have inlay on it off of there. I mean, it's probably not going to flow perfectly for my first try, but I'd like it to look like it is seamless and was one big pattern. So they will be a continuous pattern if I match them up correctly when I lay them down, so they will match up. All right, so this first one, of course, I'm going to cut the side here. I think I'll still be able to lay it down and line it up, but let me just go ahead and cut this side. It's okay. Uh-oh, I got paint on the back of that. Just have to be careful here. And also, these paint inlays, from what I'm told, can be used more than once. It's a big investment when you're first buying them, but there's several sheets in there and they can be reused. So if you're making a big piece of furniture, you can use the same sheet a couple times. You just have to let it dry and then re-go with it again. All right, so this is the correct way, I think. But we're going to lay it. Pretty sure anyway. I'm going to go ahead and cut the piece. I mean, I know I have other pieces, so I'm fine with that. That way I don't go crooked with it, and I'll know that I can just go straight on the board. It'll just help me a little bit. There's also grid lines on here for you to cut if you need to. I'm going in between these two grid lines though. So straight on like this. So I'm going to just work with this one and add it first. So I have my paint. I'm going to put a nice layer on there. So let's line up. Ooh, just be careful. Just be careful. Alright, we are going to lay that down. I'm going to bray it on there. There are some wrinkles, but you know what? I feel like wrinkles are good because it's going to give like the distressed kind of maybe look to it. Bray it down, and then what we're going to do is wet it. We are going to wet it. So I've got my spray bottle here, and I'm just going to give it a little spritz. Get my napkin that has a little bit of water, and I'm just going to press down. I think I need a little bit more water than that. And you guys, this is a reused Dawn spray bottle because it works wonderful for a water bottle. So I just cleaned it out really well, and I'm reusing it as a spray bottle. I'm hoping my paint went all the way up right here. Oh, I hope this turns out pretty, guys. It already looks pretty to me. So I'm just going to keep wetting this down in the back. It's a big process. You kind of paint, wet paint, add a dry thing, then you wet it, then you dry it, then you wet it again or you take it off. It's a big process to do this, but it's worth it from what I see. I've seen other creatives create with these, and they are amazing, amazing, amazing. Alright, we have it all nice and dry, and it took a good bit to dry it, but of course you would just wait the next day and be fine. So what I'm going to do now is get my wet paper towel and make sure it's nice and wet, and I'm going to re-wet this. We're going to re-wet this all over again so that when you pull it off, it'll have a little bit of slack and it won't tear our piece. So you guys can see it. I can get y'all in the camera. And let me get some more water up here where I'm going to pull from. Alright, some of it didn't grab right there, but I do see that it's grabbed. Alright, here we go. If it starts to feel like it's pulling, then you have got to add water. It's pulling really nice for me though. Guys, look at that. How beautiful. It's so pretty. And there is a bit of chippiness to it. I love that. I don't know why it did it, but it did it. Alright, so I'm going to take this and we're going to lay it out to let it dry. The top part of it did not take, which is fine. We're going to dry this up. Show you that chippiness in the pattern. That is amazing to me. Alright, and we have to match up this top piece, and I'm a little worried about this. I'm wondering if I just want to do to here and just leave that top part like it is, but we're going to see if we can get it going. Now I'm going to have a hard time matching up now because the roses up here did not actually take. And what I'm going to do is just cut around my circle and my little line here. Just going to cut straight down that. I just cut it, and that way it can go around it when I lay it up here. If that makes sense. I'm going to cut a little bit bigger. Alright, let's get our paint on. What did I do with my brush? Did I knock it over? Oh, here it is. Alright, let's get our paint on and then we'll add our last inlay. I'm just going to go right up to where we ended. Alright, we're going to pull from the top. I'm just going to grab a piece up here and this piece up here, and let's pull. Isn't that amazing? Oh my gosh, you guys, I just love that. Sit that one out to dry as well. I don't want to sit it on anything that's going to cause it to mess up. Alright, so the only thing I don't like is right here. You can see where that piece didn't take. Of course, get some of it off. Just kind of come in and break up that little line a bit. There we go, that looks good. Now I kind of want to add my green paint back in right here. I feel like that is a little too light for me. You can just go in and add what you need. But you guys, look at this amazing pattern. I wish that I had my other thing so I could rise y'all up and see the whole thing. Alright, you guys, so I have Grage Chalkology paste from Chalk Couture. I have a squeegee, and I have the stencil that we're using. I think it is called, let's look and see, Soulmates, because the other one has Soulmates, Lost Socks Seeking Soulmates on it. So we're just using one piece. I cut it off from the stencil itself, and we are just going to try to see if this grade stands out on this. If not, we may go back in with some black and just go with that, but I really didn't want to use black. Now when you're using a painted surface with these transfers, you want to add fuzz, and that just makes it where it won't pull up your paint. Now I'm not too worried about that because I like rustic stuff anyway. Oh, and so I'm just going to use just a piece of cloth I have here and add a little bit of lint to the back of it. It's not a big deal. We do have cloths that we can add fuzz to them, but you know, not too worried about that. So what I'm going to make the tag go this way so that this is on this side, and I'm going to try to make it as straight as I can and pray that it is, but I'm not real picky about it, you guys. If you're picky, you can figure it out and get it perfect. You just want to make sure you get it nice and flat, and then you're just going to take a little bit of paste and go to town. Now I just add it and then pull it all the way, pick it up as I go, and add it to another spot. And it's really, really simple to use these reusable transfers from Chalk Couture, and they are reusable for up to like 12 to 15 times, I believe, is what they guarantee. But I've been using them for a long time, and I use them over and over and over until they're falling apart, and they still work. I've even taped them onto surfaces before where they're no longer sticky and used them. So it's just how you take care of them is how long they're going to last. But they're really easy to use. If you've ever made a t-shirt with the like mesh screen, silk screen thing, that is about the same. So we're going to see how this looks with the gray, if it stands out enough. And I don't really think it does. So I'm going to lay this right back down and see if I can go over it with another color. I don't know. Let me look at it again. Maybe I want to offset it. Let's just take it on off and dry it, and then see if it dries any darker. I really didn't want it to like stand out, so I don't know why I'm worried too much about it. Kind of the look I was going for. It has laundry on there. I do like that, but I'm wondering if I should do a light pink, even though there's light pink in it. Maybe offset it with light. Hey, it's just paint, right? It's just paint. We'll figure it out. So let's line it back up, and then what I'm going to do is come up a little bit and over. I'm hoping that is right. Lay it back down. I'm going to grab this pink and see if it's any good. And I'm just going to go right into this pink and use it and see if it looks good. If not, we'll get it together somehow, right? It's just a matter of playing until you like what you see, and it has to be what you want it to be for you to like it, right? I'm just laying it down, scooping it back up, because you only need it to go through that mesh. You don't want to leave a big chunk on there because it'll make a weird line and it won't look painted into your surface like you want. You want it to look professional and painted on. So I'm just scraping all the excess and putting it back in my jar. Now let's see if this did any better. Oh yeah, I like that much better. So it's kind of like a little offset. Not perfect, but good enough. Now you'll take this here to your sink and wash it with some lukewarm water and you'll be good to go. Put it back on that backer sheet that it came on. And my letters even look a little chippy, so I'm loving that, you guys. You know, that's me. I love chippy. That's my favorite thing to do. So I'll pick it up and let you guys see. In just a minute. Oh, I love this. This would be a beautiful laundry sign. Oops. All right, so you can see the chippiness in the, especially that N. It looks amazing. And you can see it's a little offset with the gray. I don't really care for it on the little letters, but hey, it's all right. It's good enough. All right, so we do have a little bit of texture from it here and there, and that's okay. What I am going to do with this now is I'm going to spray it with a matte Mod Podge sealer because I want to keep it matte. You can gloss it and varnish it or anything like that. I'm going to keep it as is. I love it, and I just really enjoyed creating it with you guys. At the end of this video, I'm going to put in our hosts again, and you guys make sure you go to the playlist and watch all of our friends there in the playlist. It's a great community of creatives that are amazingly talented. And you guys make sure, if you don't subscribe to my channel, you do. I'm going to leave you with a video showing the finished product, and I hope you guys really enjoyed this. Thanks for watching.
You get everybody staring for days. All they see is just a young, pretty face. But I'm trying to get to know you much better.